Welcome back, SANWA Week continues. Today in the SANWA Spotlight, the RD700 auto-ranging multimeter. Let's take a look. At first glance, the RD700 looks really, really good. This 4,000 count multimeter hopefully has a few surprises in store. In the box, you get your standard SANWA test leads, the TL23As. Now, you know by now, I love my SANWA test leads. They are some of the best in the industry. Does not matter which model they ship. I have not come across a bad set of SANWA test leads. Incredible. You can take off the shroud and lose a cat rating, but you have an extra long, pointy tip. And as always, nice and sharp, gold-plated. No doubts, these will perform amazing. Really good tactile feel. It's very hard to explain, but if you ever get the opportunity, and I know you all will, to try out a SANWA test lead, they just feel amazing in the hand. Oh, I love these things. Oh, the actual body, the assembly, is has a very nice grippy feel to it. Hard to explain. Not a plastic feel by any means. No, these are very, very soft, supple. Oh, something like Corinthian leather. I feel a Ricardo Montalban moment coming on here. The RD700 does do temperature. It does not have an ambient sensor, so no onboard temperature. You're going to need this thermocouple to take a reading, but that's okay. As always, fit and finish are second to none. Really, really good high-grade quality. The rubber holster itself grips like nothing and has a really soft, supple feel. As well, in the back, we have that nice little hanger here built into the holster. The standing bail or tilt stand comes out no problem whatsoever. And, you know, this thing is solid. Yeah, it's like solid. Really, really solid. This is a heavy-duty meter. I'm not sure if it comes across on the screen, but wow, this thing is well made. Also on the back, those TL23As are in there nice, grippy, and you can do some hands-free testing. Beauty. Biggest gripe with the design is the fact that if you do drop the meter, it's going to hit that rotary selector switch and probably tilt it over onto the display itself, so that rubber housing does not provide any protection for that display. Too bad. Take a closer look at that selector switch starting at the 9 o'clock off position. DC volts up to 1000 volts. AC volts up to 1000 volts. Frequency from 10 Hz to 1 MHz. ADP, a separate clamp current function with an optional clamp. Continuity, diode, capacitance, and resistance. Temperature in both Celsius and Fahrenheit. Microamps, AC-DC. Milliamps, AC-DC. High current amps, 10 amps, AC-DC. Secondary off position. Top of the meter, we have our select button, range, rel, and finally a dual hold, standard hold as well as a max hold. At the bottom of the meter, we have our high current amps, followed by microamps and milliamps, our COM in the middle, and finally on the far right, we have our voltage, frequency, ADP, resistance, continuity, diode, capacitance, and temperature. Rotary selector switch is very, very nice. Super solid tactile feel. You have a really good click stop. No worry about getting lost between ranges, and having that dual off is a really nice feature. Interesting enough, I actually prefer the selector switch on the less expensive RD700 as opposed to the PC700. PC700, don't get me wrong, it's still a really nice selector, but it just doesn't have that same tactile feel and responsiveness that I get out of the RD700. Go figure. SANWA, thankfully, always protects the displays with a nice, solid piece of plastic, which I'm just going to remove right now. Oh, wow. That was good. Already all this anticipation, I'm telling you. Let's turn on this little beast of burden. Or shall I say beast of joy? Because it is a joyful thing, is it not? Any SANWA meter is a joyful thing. All right, turning it on. Oh yeah, look at that. Wow. That is not your standard atypical font that we normally see on the SANWA displays. No, this is a lot chunkier, a lot more bold, kind of in your face, like, look at me, man, I am here. What do you think? Okay, just for demonstration purposes, so you know I'm not talking out of the side of my mouth. Indeed, it is a much bolder font. Wow, interesting. So typical Japanese displays are normally quite, I don't want to call them dainty, but they're very, very streamlined, very light, airy. You know, that has that nice sort of Japanese thing to it, doesn't it? But this is really different. Twice as dark, the contrast is there, and obviously bigger digits, as well as a much more bolder font. Interesting. First impressions are really, really good thus far. Definitely the RD700 is not one of those big name models coming out of the SANWA realm. In fact, you don't really hear much about it at all. Too bad, really, because thus far it has proven to be quite an interesting character. Let's see how good it is at testing. Quick DC accuracy test, 249.97 millivolts. Awfully close. 250 is what we wanted to see. 2.50 volts is what we want. 2.499 doesn't get much closer than that. Oh, look at that. Thank you so much. Well, you know what? Hey, close enough. It's an Entra RMS multimeter, but hey, no worries here. 120 volts. AC is what we want, and it's exactly what we get. Now, while in AC mode, I am going to take that selector and just switch it over to frequency. It is the next up on that rotary selector range, and there we are, 60 hertz, looking good. Let's see how fast the RD700 is in terms of resistance ranging, sitting at 1 mega ohm right now, spot on. Take it up to 3 mega ohm, looking good. 6 mega ohm, yeah. Finally, let's try for 10. 10, do I hear 10? 10, oh yeah, nice and accurate. Let's try 100K. 300K, 700K, not bad. Once again, it is a little laggy, probably not the quickest again, but you know, definitely it's not that bad. 710K, 730K, and 760K. Yeah, so there is some lag once again in the resistance range. It is super accurate, but just not the fastest resistance meter out there. No worries about accuracy and resistance, 100 ohm, spot on. To get into the battery housing, you have a long threaded insert, and you just pull it up gently, and look at the size of that thing. It is captive. It is not captive, okay. And look at that, gorgeous. Oh, ho, ho, yeah. Instant access means instant fuse gratification. Our milliamp as well as our high current fuse, both easily accessible. Also, this tilt stand does come off. You just give it a little squeeze and it can pop right off. So if it gets in your way or you just don't want it, there you go. And you can easily put it back on like that. Cool. Another nice feature as well, if you look, we've got this really nice soft touch grips on the bottom as well. I love seeing that on the bottom. So it really helps that meter. If you don't need that boot, it's just, oh, so nice to have. So little touches to attention to detail like that really shows quality. Nice. Alrighty, next up is a diode mode, diode LED. Here we come. Start off with that green LED and nothing. Try that again. No, it's not lit, no forward voltage drop. Okay, let's go over to the yellow LED and nothing. What the heck's going on? Over to the red LED. This is also not being illuminated. Wow, the blue. Finally, the white. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Well, after verifying, indeed, the battery is top-notch, top of the line. I even replaced it with another new one. 0 for 5. That is a huge, huge disappointment. Oh. So there's the problem, my friends. Oh, wow. 1.5 volts, barely being outputted in a diode mode. Just not enough to illuminate any of these LEDs. Oh, why is it so low? Geez. Quick look at a standard diode. And yeah, forward voltage drop, not a problem. Thank God for that. According to the SANWA user manual, we should be getting at least 2 volts on that output for the diode. But we're not even getting that. At least a half a volt out, 1.49. So, fail. Next up is capacitance mode. I've got a 2,200 microfarad electrolytic capacitor in my hot little hands. I've just railed out the unit here in capacitance mode, sitting at all zeros, all good. All right, let's start testing. Here we go. 2,200 microfarad is what we want to see. It's now in microfarad range. Wow, I can already tell this is not the fastest capacitance tester out there. Whoa, Granny was slow, but she was 99. Earth calling RD700 come in over. There we are, 2,099, pretty close to spec, but good God, that took a long time. We're talking about a minute to read a 3,000 microfarad capacitor. Really unacceptable, just way too long. I'm gonna try another one. This is a 470 microfarad electrolytic cap. Here we go. We're in there. Nice. So that was definitely faster, 342 nanofarad. The hell is it nanofarad mode for? There we are. Microfarad, 433. All right, so faster, yeah. Next up is temperature. Looking at the thermocouple that the RD700 ships with. Really nice, very good quality actually. Solid, heavy, and it's got a really neat little indicator there for your positive and negative as well. That also tells you the positive and negative. But that little color coding is nice. Nice touch. All right, so let's just put that in the meter. And as soon as I input the thermoprobe, you see we are instantly in Celsius mode, coming up as 20 degrees here in the lab. Let's just switch to Fahrenheit, 67, 68. Yeah, I like it room temperature. Definitely a handy feature on the RD700 is the current alarm. Right now I've got it in milliamps, and if I go ahead and put it on that high current mode, I get an alarm saying wrong, 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 and vice versa. I can have it into the high current mode. If I put it into milliamps, getting that alarm. So that should hopefully help you
from blowing too many fuses in the future. God, that's loud. Ugh.
Okay, we're gonna have a quick look at voltage DC accuracy showdown. Got the SANWA CD732 on the far left. In the middle, we have the star of the show, the the RD700. And on the far right, we have the PC700. Okie dokie, let's turn on that power supply. Sitting at 2.66 volts. And there we are. Hey, looking good all around. Here we go. Bring it up. 9.0 volts. 9.06 actually according to the power supply, 9.06 for the PC700, 9.07 and 9.07. It's a draw for the 732 and the 700. Up, up and away. 16.06 volts. Well, look at this. Now 16.07, 16.07 and 16.06 again. Okay, up, up and away. 26.9 volts. 9.3 to be exact, and look at that, spot on, 26.9. Let's just move them over a bit there. 26.95, 26.95, 26.93. Okay, we're gonna max it out now. 32 volts. I'm sorry, actually 31.16 volts. Survey says, wow, 31.15, 31.15, and 31.12. Beauty. Now you can tell our RD700 in the middle does not have a bar graph, unlike the other two multimeters. Yeah, that's too bad. And those other bar graphs, as you can see, are really, really responsive. Beautiful, beautiful. But yeah, no bar graph on the 700, RD700. I'm going to take a quick look at the current department, sitting right now at 0.437 milliamps, and coming up, not a problem for the RD700. Okay, here we go. 1.39 amps, 1.39 amps, beauty, 1.937. Oh, my finger touched it. I'm sorry. 1.954, 1.9579. You know what? Let's just max out this sucker. Bring it up to 5.24 amps according to the DC power supply and 5.23 amps for the RD700. Yeah, so yeah, no worries about current. It seems to be doing just fine. Continuity is next. I've got the stock TL23As in my hand. Here we go. Oh yeah, music to my ears. Oh, some people love Beethoven. I love continuity. Yeah, fast and oh so quick, latched, loud. Oh yeah, that is beauty. Perfect. 10 out of 10. Probe Masters. Probe Masters, baby. Does it get any better? Well, you know, I don't think so. Wow, beautiful, loud, latched. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I think it is just as good. I don't really see a difference. Perhaps a millisecond or two quicker. I don't know. Is it just me? But yeah, just awesome. 10 out of 10. Good job. Thanks, everybody. God. .6 decibels, the maximum output volume in continuity. Whoa, that's loud. I think that might be the loudest yet. Good job. Looking at the hold feature, yes, we do have that standard hold, one-touch hold, press release, really nothing too fancy, but it does have something called max hold. Now, the max hold is a neat little feature. It's going to display the measured maximum value in as fast as a 30 millisecond range, and it has something called automatic up-range capability. What that means, it's going to keep increasing that max hold value until the value actually stops increasing. Let's take a look. Already, I'm going to put it into max hold. There we are. You can see the signifier at the top right in max, and we are sitting around 56 millivolts. And now look, oh, it's going up. It's going up. 5.5, 6, 7, 8, 7.99 volts. And we're going to turn off the power, and you can see, yeah, we're sitting there now, 7.998 volts, even, Steven. And that is our max functionality. So it actually displayed those increases as they carried on live. It's a neat little feature, and you know what? Yeah, kind of cool. And to get out of there, again, you just go into your max, hold down twice, and there you go. This works in both voltage as well as current, and also supports the optional clamp tool for the ADP measurement. Alrighty, thus far, this has been an interesting meter to review. It's had some really great highs and a couple of lows as well. Let's take a look on the inside, see how that looks. All right, let's take this guy apart. And wow, without that boot on, it does look a little naked. Yeah, but that's okay. So we've got one Phillips way down there, really low. This was for the battery housing. And let's take that other Phillips out. Okay, here we go. Oh, yes. Yes, yes. Nothing like the internals of a SANWA. Once again, if we take a look at the back, you are greeted with that removable battery cover, and there we have our, I believe that is the milliamp fuse. Yes, indeed it is. It's a 630 milliamp, 500 volt fuse, and it's a oh, size-wise, what is that? It's coming up as a 6.3 by 31.4 millimeter fuse. In the manual, it's saying it's a 6.3 by 32. No big deal. Yeah, so. Alrighty, ceramic fuses, and they are higher than their posted rating on the meter. On the meter itself, it's saying 400 milliamps. They're giving you a 630, so nice little up there in milliamp protection. Now take a look at the other side. We have our piezo. It's just a standard looking piezo here. Nice ABS as always with SANWA, but yeah, you see what I see. Yeah, it's what we don't see, right? No shielding. Once again, I hope this changes in the future. Okay, now let's look at the main PCB. Let's take a closer look at that input protection. Here is our main high current fuse, and glad to say this is an overrated 12.5 amp fuse. Yes, 12.5 amp fuse on a 10 amp rated meter. Excellent, 500 volts, good to see. Once again, same with that milliamp fuse. Don't forget that was a 630 milliamp and a 400 milliamp rating. I love those overrated fuses. Now, I'm gonna just pull this off. We've got a daughter board here, and underneath there we've got some input protection, as you can see. And we're gonna get a good look. Not a whole lot in the input protection department. We've got one minuscule PTC over here. That's on the voltage side. We've got a diode clamp. That's pretty well it. That's all. We do have a very nice current shunt. Take a look at that. Multi-coiled. A lot of good resistance going on right there. Moving up the line, we have some more discrete components. And this quad 2 input. NAND gate CMOS. So there you go. Strangely enough, we have some surface-mounted capacitors, a total of 5 of those right here, electrolytics, and some other discrete components over here. Now, one of the trademark SANWA, look at that. See those springs? Those spring terminals actually are what make contact with the piezo on the other side. I only see that in SANWAs. I'm not really sure why they use that mechanism, but there you go. All right, let's flip it over. Look at those gorgeous rotary selector pads. Very, very nice. Once again, gold-plated pads. Loving it, loving it. Also here you can tell we have brass threaded inserts for both the battery housing. For switch itself, we have a plastic type. Seen this on some of the key sites as well. No springs, no balls. Plastic feeder going through this multi-clad housing here. Other side there's the rotary selector tracks themselves. They look okay. Actually a little bit smaller than I was hoping to see. The input jacks themselves are in there, really nice, solid, super soldering job, and some more components in there as well. Always, we're seeing this daughter board riser on a lot of the SANWAs. You'll notice that that current shunt, as gorgeous as it is in the middle of the PCB, right in the middle of the multimeter. Why, oh why, did the engineers decide to put it there? And look at that, they have to feed it with a wire going all across, basically almost arcing over that rotary selector switch right here. I mean, why didn't they just move the darn current shunt lower? You know, that's very, yeah, I don't like that. I'm not a fan of that. Don't know what they were thinking. Geez, you know, I wanted to like this meter. I wanted to love this meter. And, you know, part of me does, but part of me really has a tough time with some of the results. Definitely that diode testing mode was a huge failure. Those LEDs should have lit up. They should have lit up, and we were only getting 1.5 volts. Even the spec on the manual should say 2 volts. We weren't getting that, so shouldn't have left the factory like that. Also, the capacitance mode, really just no excuses, just way too slow in this day and age. It shouldn't take almost a minute to measure a 3,000 microfarad capacitor. And finally, the current shunt placement, really weird, and I'm not a big fan of having those big wires basically crossing over your selector switch. Not a good idea. I've seen this as low as around $95 to $100 Canadian, about 75, 80 US. For SANWA name, that is really, really good. That being said, it's got some really good features. You've got that hold max, which is really nice. Comes in handy, and I used it a lot, and I liked it. It's a very accurate meter. Has a lot of neat little features, including those input jack alarms, something you don't always see on a multimeter. The RD700 from SANWA gets a sad 2 out of 5 stars. Thanks for watching this review, everybody. Don't forget that contest. Yes, you can win a SANWA. Giving away 2 SANWA meters. So don't be shy. Like, subscribe, and leave a comment, all right? Leave a comment. I love to hear from you guys. Good, bad, doesn't matter. And you know what? SANWA's here. They're listening. They're watching. You got something to say? Let them know. Till the next one, keep on testing.